goes directly with it so airflow can go up. Close this, which helps it flow faster on there. This is called the draft check. This is called the flue. This I call the flap. There's no other name for it. And it just gets posted up with this piece of metal that's here. That way air can flow in and up the chimney. So now we have the maximum airflow we can possibly have. This little dial in the front really is just so you can see inside what the fire is doing. There's holes in the bottom. You don't need to push inside. Holes in the bottom, so when you move the ash when it falls. Do not clean out the back at all. There's a big crack in the back of the firebox that's actually filled with ash right now. And if you were to clean it out, smoke would go inside the airbox or that's surrounding the furnace here, and it'd get smoke in the house, which my brother did. So you just kind of move this around until the ashes go down a bit. You don't have to be very clean about it. When the ashes get full, you just pull them out here. As clean as you want it to be. I just want to do that right now. Paper first, and quite a bit of paper. The reason you need more paper in here than you would in a fire that you're building outside is you need something to get the draft to start. So you got hot paper or fire in there, it creates a hot air and actually gets it to start shooting up the chimney. Once it starts to draw or draft up the chimney, then it'll just keep pulling on its own. So usually 3 clumps in the bottom, little kindling on top of that, a couple more pieces of paper, a couple larger pieces of wood. The one trick outside there is wood with sap all over it, pitch if you will. It's that dry, hardened, colorful stuff. If you were to throw in a big piece of this, it would be big black rolling smoke, so you don't want to do that. So just pay attention to what wood you have. Usually there's some stacked here beside the post. And then there's dry kindling beside it, just fur that's on this side, and then larger pieces of wood on there. So usually I put in 1 piece of pitch, so kindling first, on top of the paper. There's lots of wood around here, so you don't have to be too sparing. And actually, I also have a bin of just dry sticks cleaning up that falls off the maple tree out there. So you put in a few of those as well. And again, it doesn't really need this except for the draft. So then I'll kick up at one piece of pitch wood. In the bottom of the fireplace is a little bit of a V, and it's only so long. If you put in a log that's too long, it's a big firebox, so it's bigger than most pieces of firewood, so nothing should be too long. But these, there's a lot of these pieces of wood out there that I sometimes cut into 3 pieces, so they're medium sized. They're too long, so it actually won't sit in the bottom of the fireplace. And if that happens, you got an airspace underneath, you got a kind of wood floating up there, it just won't make a very good fire. So just pay attention that whatever pieces you put on the bottom can actually fall down in the V that's inside of there. This one's a little bit big. You want at least 2 medium-sized pieces. Closer to that size. 2 of these on top of the pitch. And just make sure there's some space in between the logs so that when the paper's burning, the flames are actually coming up out of there, like you would with anything else. I just put a couple on the side. That if there are flames licking up the side, they'll start forming. And then to start the fire, you can make a little balloon like this. I actually stick this right up in the hole. You can actually see it inside there, and then I start lighting everything else. Reason for that is it'll start the draft. And I just drop it as soon as I start to burn my hand. You can actually hear it start to roar as you go. And I drop it. And I close the door. And if it's an especially cold morning or kind of rainy, sometimes there's down pressure. I'm sure a meteorologist could tell you what that's all about, but sometimes it won't draft very well. So I'll just do it. I can hear it roaring, so I really don't need to do what I'm doing right now, but I'll just show it again for fun. Until the draft starts, it'll blow a little bit of smoke out each time. And usually while I'm waiting, you should be able to hear it roaring like that.
Oh, gross.
Yeah, I'm sure you can hear it out there. Yeah. And then I just plan my next pieces. Put in, so usually a couple more medium ones. I'm going to throw this one in only because it's a rotten piece of wood. That high popping is from the pitch, so you don't always, if you don't have a piece of pitch wood in there, you don't always do that. Woo. And that's how pitch pops. And I usually leave the door open so the smoke just runs out the door there as I go. If it's a really cold morning, I'll just let the smoke go in the house because it smells good. So right now the firebox is probably filled up about halfway. So the bottom pieces are all small, a couple medium pieces, that piece of pitch, and a couple other ones on the side. Only halfway on how much I can fill it up. So I let this burn for a while. And you can feel the temperature here. You don't want the flames to be shooting so high they're coming up and turning. And you'll notice that you can actually, there's a couple little holes in here, you'd actually see yellow flame. Sparks are okay, but yellow flame shooting all the way up here. It's not really that bad, it just means these things will wear out faster on here. But it gets hot really fast on there. This is the fan or limit control. As soon as the air inside this box, which is surrounding the actual furnace, gets warm enough, it kicks on this forced air and blows the hot air through there. If the temperature in the fire goes down, it turns off the fan. If the fire and the temperature in the fire stays really high, the fan will never turn off, and the house can get really hot. So if you made too good of a fire, you can turn off the fan right up here. There's a little switch that turns off the fan, that turns it on. There's no other way to turn off the fan if it's too hot in the house. And you can't turn off the fire. So that's what you get. So I can feel it going by. I'll go back outside, grab a couple pieces of wood. And mostly fir and alder to start. They just burn faster and easier. You want to make sure, I'll let smoke go for a while. Sometimes it'll build a bit of a tent, and so I'll just bang at it until all the wood falls down and the V in the bottom. Even right here, this piece up a little high. So I'll just move it around so that it's kind of sitting, kind of clumped down inside. The fire will start to shut down when you do that, and then it'll pick up again and start roaring. The goal isn't to make fire as much as it is to make coals. So the closer it is together, you want this open as long as possible to get the wood to start to turn into coals. Once it starts to turn into coals, you want to turn the fire down, which I will do a little bit here. I'll actually do it sooner than I normally would. Normally I would leave this like this until the fan kicks on. Then I know there's enough heat going on inside the firebox that I'm going to have a good fire.
Can you hear the fan kick on in the house?
Yeah. and we'll be able to hear it down here. It should be pretty close, because I can tell by the temperature back here. You know, I go close and I start to feel it on my face back here, and then I know the fan will kick on pretty soon. If the fire is roaring really hard, even now sometimes I'll turn it down just a little bit. I don't know if you can hear it on there, but if I do this, I can hear the air turn down and turn back up. And you can play with this to get used to what it's doing. And that just shuts it down. If you were to close this right off, it might start to try and kick smoke out of the box when it's going. That's the fan turning on. So then I know that I'm doing pretty good here. So I usually turn this down to half, or rather, I usually add more wood and I fill the firebox up from halfway. Not quite to full where you're trying to like cram pieces in there, but I'd throw 3 more pieces, and I'll grab a piece of maple, throw it in there. So now it's not quite 3/4. I'd probably put another piece in there, but this will be pretty good to start a fire. So it's open on the front, so air's going in. It's open on the back, so it's flying up the chimney. I usually turn it to, this is off, so this is halfway when it's at 45 degrees. So I usually go a little less than half. Probably half, depending how the fire's doing. It feels pretty warm. And then I'd go upstairs. There's a timer on the fridge. I crank it to about 20 or 30 and then go back to 10 minutes. And in 10 minutes I pull the chains upstairs, we call it. And this chain here is one of them, and then there's a chain on the flap in the front. And when you pull this one, you just lift it, drop it, shuts the air on the front. And when you pull the second one, closest to the stairs, it pops this open. And this is as much as you can shut down the fire. It starts to draft in from the warm air downstairs and go up the chimney. So if you took away this whole fireplace right now, and you lit a match, smoke will pull up the chimney from in here, and this is why you don't end up with smoke in the house. It pulls it down and in and up as it goes. So that's why it's called a draft check. It helps pull half the air in from down here and the rest of it's coming up through the chimney. So you could turn this down to just a barely smoldering fire and all of the smoke would still go up the chimney, it wouldn't come into the house. And then there your fire sits, and then probably 15 minutes later, so 10 minutes, pull the chains, 15 minutes later I go down and check on the fire to make sure my wood wasn't too wet or it didn't do something funny inside on there. And then if it did, I come back down. I always close this and open this before I open the door, otherwise smoke will billow out at you. So you don't have to open the bottom flap anymore. If you want to check on your fire, you can open it. As you can see, I turned it down too soon, so it's not really turning into a good fire. So for now, I'll open it back up and let it roar. And it just starts to build and build and build and build. It doesn't take long.
That's cool.
Yeah. A lot of this wood is wet right now, so that's why this is a little trickier. So for this one, I might end up leaving it, just because I know I put in wet wood. I'd set the timer for 20 minutes and then come down and check and see how it's doing, just to make sure that whatever pieces were in there turned into wood.
Okay.
The fan turned off because the fire did cool down too far. So if the fan is ever turning on and then shutting off, and turning on and shutting off, you don't have enough heat in here. The only way to get more heat in here is to actually add more wood, which means make more coals. And then the only reason you're opening this isn't for more heat in the house, it's just to get it to turn into coals. So if you left this open the whole time, it wouldn't be the best way to get it hot in the house. The best way to get it hot in the house is to add a lot of wood, open this up so it turns into coals, and shut it down so the coals sit there and create a lot of heat. That's the way to do it, not leaving this open the whole time. Sometimes then all the heat just shoots out the chimney. That's about it.
Okay.
So for this one, I'll leave it open in the front.